Hi guys, so today we'll be speaking about Parthenocarpy and Parthenogenesis. So these are two very famous MCQ points you get questioned very often. But some of you will find it very difficult to understand or differentiate between them because they sound the same and they haven't given it properly structured in the resource as well. So I thought why not just structure it down for you so that you can easily understand and clarify your doubts on this as well. So firstly, we'll move on to what is Parthenocarpy. So the term carpy stands for fruit, right? Genesis is something related to the seeds. So here when we say parthenocarpy, it's something about the fruit. So when an ovary develops into a fruit without fertilization, you call it parthenocarpy. So this occurs naturally in some plants, like for example in bananas, and this can be induced using plant growth substance as well. For example, grapes and oranges. So, for example, you can find seedless oranges, seedless grapes. The reason is because they are because of parthenocarpy. They are induced by plant growth substances. Then we move on to parthenogenesis. Now, as I told you, carpy for fruit, genesis is something related with seeds. So, when seeds are developing without fertilization, you call it what? Parthenogenesis in the case of plants. So, there can be several reasons for parthenogenesis to occur. For example, if the egg is resulted by mitosis, then what happens? The egg is going to be diploid. Or if the ovum fuses with the polar nucleus, or if the genetic content of the egg is multiplied. Now, an example for parthenogenesis would be like certain grasses. So, like monocots, for example, certain grasses are going to be examples for what? Parthenogenesis in plants. Now, we don't have parthenocarpy in animals, but we do have parthenogenesis in plants, right? So, what is parthenogenesis? This comes under Unit 5 under reproduction. So, it's an unusual form of asexual reproduction. Now, you find several other methods of asexual reproduction like budding, fragmentation, regeneration, and all that. Here, parthenogenesis is an unusual form of asexual reproduction. So, that is when an egg develops into a complete individual without fertilization. So, this also now we can see it in invertebrates and also vertebrates, but you can commonly see it in invertebrates rather than vertebrates. So, examples would be here. I have a mnemonic for you. So, you can remember as bow. Bow, so bees, aphids, ants, and wasps. And when it comes to vertebrates, rarely you can find them in some fish and some lizards. Now we have another subtopic that comes right away with this. That's going to be about the bees. So now in bees, there are two types. If the egg is fertilized, they can result in sterile workers, not works, workers, and also fertile queen. So both of these are going to be diploid, but sterile, as you can see, it's not it's infertile, whereas a queen is fertile. Now, if the egg is not fertilized, it can result in drones. What are these drones? Drones are male bees and they are haploid. So, this male bees and they're haploid, but they are fertile. Okay, they are fertile. So, now in females, there are two types, fertile and infertile. But in males, we have all of them are fertile. So, these drones are going to be haploid males, which are resulted because of not because of fertilization. This is by parthenogenesis. So now if I'm going to rush through what we have discussed so far. Firstly, we have parthenocarpy that you can find in plants. Ovary becomes fruit. Examples you have to remember. Then parthenogenesis, how does that happen? And also examples like certain grasses. Then parthenogenesis in animals, how does that happen? An example. That's all you need to remember in this point, and very famous MCQ point, and I guarantee you can get this mark right away if you understand this at one go. See you soon in my next video. Thank you for watching.